I think the beginning of my healing journey is when I started letting myself actually feel my emotions. Like I think because I'm an older millennial and like I was raised a certain way, and a lot of the older generation was raised this way too. Like we were taught not to talk about our emotions and our feelings, and like when we expressed it, we were called weak. Or we were told to be quiet, and we were taught to like just either hide our emotions, not talk about it, or deal with it on our own. And like this is especially bad for men. I've seen it with men where like in family functions, like where certain men were like more vulnerable and expressed how they feel about certain things just to kind of notice it and observe it, but also to relieve it. And they were called weak. They were called weak by other men in front of our family. And I immediately recognized that that was a distortion. Like expressing yourself, noticing your emotions, not shaming yourself for emotions, but allowing yourself to feel it is actually one of the most healing things that you can possibly do. Does like every emotion that come across you need to be acted on, or for you to say something as a result of it, or are you losing, control? Absolutely not. Part of self-regulation and self-discipline is allowing yourself to notice and observe certain emotions, to pull them in closer, to see, how they're making you feel, to observe why they're making you feel that way. Is it like a habitual response? Is it a trauma response? Like what is causing you to be triggered? What's causing you to feel these emotions? But for especially when it's pain or certain things that have happened to you, to be able to sit in that and to allow yourself to feel it. And like it might be sharp and it might be really hurtful at first, but eventually, if you like digest it, process it, you can heal it, and then you can release it. And healing, it could be in any number of ways depending on what that particular thing is. But the worst thing that you can do is hide it. The worst thing that you can do on it is to just let it sit inside your womb, inside your heart, and letting it fester, making your heart cold, making you very unregulated in your womb area. And that applies for men too. Like it would like pretty much breaking up the meridian, your energy center, because you are allowing all this density to sit in your body rather than processing it and allowing it to regulate y'all. Like we really have to start thinking of ourselves as spiritual energetic beings, and our body being really our warning system, right? It's our electrical board. It's telling us when certain things are, off, like in our environment with other people, or when we're out of balance energetically. And different emotions that bubble up, and I use them in reference when I'm talking to my boys about bubbles. When those different things come forward, they're coming up for a reason, either for you to notice that, hey, this keeps on coming up, this is something I need to process, this needs something that I need to heal, this is something I need to release. Or hey, I'm having this emotion because this person is triggering something in me, or they are disrupting my energy field, or I need to take these actions to protect myself because this energy is lower frequency and it's more dense, and it's dysregulating me. Whatever the emotion is, or it could be love. Love is coming up. You never allowed yourself to love fully, and someone has come into your life and they are evoking, these strong emotional feelings of love or affection or intrigue. Allow yourself to feel it, but don't act on it. Feel it, notice it, observe it. Decide if you want to bring it closer or you release it. It's up to you. But what's important is that you actually act intentionally with it, and that you don't allow your emotions to hurt you. I hear, or, to hinder you, to control you, y'all. Our emotions, for a lot of us, control us. We got our whole emotions are wearing on our sleeve, like, because we have not taken command of them. And even worse, like when it's cyclical, when it's generational, and our families hide all of these emotions and these feelings, and they teach their children to do the same. And so Like for me, I was raised really to hide how I felt, to kind of take on everything myself, to not really express myself. And I used to bottle it in till I exploded, right? And then it was like this big deal about, how mean I was when I finally will release it, but it was because I would hold it in. I'm not that way. I haven't been that way for a long time now. I'm very vocal now. Everyone knows how I feel. But I was raised another way, and that can be very harmful when you're not being intentional about processing your feelings and your emotions. And you really cannot heal when you are shutting yourself off from the reality of how you're feeling. Like, even if it might be displaced, even if it's a projection, even if you're intimidated, even if you're jealous, even if you're envious, even if you're overreacting or you're projecting your feelings from another situation or someone else, you need to notice that you're doing that so that you can calibrate and correct, y'all. This is what it's all about. Calibrate, correct, or to integrate if it's of emotion that you like love, right? Or curiosity, or like whatever that emotion is, like you have to be intentional about what it is to you so that you can figure out if you want to release it, feel it, like if you want to heal it, figure out if you want to integrate it, figure out if it's something, in terms of a practice that you need to integrate in terms of wellness into your life. You can't do that unless you take the time to actually think through those emotions, though. So if you're numb and you're blocking yourself out from feeling, you're really denying yourself. You're denying yourself real feelings that you need to process, things that are telling you, they're like signals. You're ignoring signals to yourself, and the signals might not always be right on. They might be distorted because you're distorted, or because your field is distorted, or people around you are distorted, but you won't know unless you look at it. And if you allow those emotions to just harbor and sit, you are pretty much saying, I'm not going to correct, I'm not going to recalibrate, I'm not going to address, I'm not going to acknowledge the things that are coming to my attention for me to act on. Instead, I am going to mute all the signals, and I am going to instead externally focus on every other signals around me, but ignore the internal signals that are really trying to make sure that I'm calibrated right in this avatar, in this body that I'm inhabiting, which will inevitably lead to either emotional shutdown, burnout, your body breaking down on you. Because yes, energy does then affect how your electrical systems work in your body, your nervous system. That will then translate to your organs and the systems in your body. And if you're not feeding yourself the nutrients that you need, then you'll start short circuiting. Then you'll end up MS like me, possibly, or something worse. Yeah, it's a trickle down effect, and it all is related, and it all really matters. And so, if you find yourself, this is where we go into the action. If you find yourself shutting down, not allowing yourself to feel, numbing yourself, how? Perhaps you drink every day. Maybe you do different substances every day, whether pharmaceutical or not. That's where I find the majority of people, like, that's how they end up coping, numbing themselves. Or you throw yourself in relationships so you're distracted. You throw yourself into TV so that you're distracted. You throw yourself into friendships if you're distracted. You throw yourself into work if you're distracted. You are, spend time and your money, or do anything besides pay attention to what you're actually feeling. Anything to numb yourself that you can't feel. Do me this favor, right? Because we take actions on a daily basis, small actions, micro actions that will then lead to bigger effects. Sit in meditation, sit in silence, even if it's 5 minutes, and think, what am I not allowing myself to feel right now? Just think about one thing. What am I refusing to acknowledge? What am I refusing to feel? And then choose to allow yourself to feel it. And like, it might hurt. It probably will up front. I'm not going to lie, especially if it's a painful emotion. But if it's a good emotion, then it'll feel good. But allow yourself to feel it. And then once you allow yourself to feel it, process, okay, what does this mean to me? What do I need to do? What do I need to heal? Do I want to release it? Do I want to acknowledge it? Do I want to bring it closer? Do I want to make it part of me? Like, do I need to change my environment? Do I need to change the people around me? Do I need to bring more people around me? Do I need to bring different people around me? What do I need to do? Just think about that. And that'll be enough for now. I hope that this is helpful. I hope that it resonates with you. Happy holidays. Happy New Year to everyone. Shalane Tukai. Peace.